And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Lots to talk about. Let me turn this volume up. Lots to talk about this evening. It's almost 7:30. I'm meant to be doing another show over at our gaming channel live at 7:30, so that's not going to be happening. But anyway, thank you for joining me at BWTM Sports. Before I begin, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. We really appreciate those comments. So, as you know, we broke the story regarding Bermane Stiverne and his decision to step aside and still remain mandatory challenger and face Dominic Breazeale on November the 11th. We will be having Bermane Stiverne again live tomorrow night, Monday, around 10 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Vegas time, and we're going to get the very, very latest, his views on obviously now the Breazeale fight, the fight with obviously Wilder and potentially Ortiz. So we'll be having the latest news on that, and you'll be able to tune in and ask questions as well to Bermane Stiverne, as always. Before I go any further into this conversation, I want to say a big shout out to a few channels, and of course, Mr. Boxing Today. Keep up the great work, brother. 78 Sports TV, Truth and Facts Boxing with Boberland. I want to give a shout out to also our friends in Ukraine, UA Boxing News. They cover every story, every interview we've done. They've covered it, and sometimes even gone out their way to translate those interviews as well. So that gives us huge exposure across the Ukraine and Eastern Europe. So I want to take this time to personally thank you for the time you've taken to follow us. Another shout out to well, I don't know who this person is, actually don't know what their name is, but I know you watch my videos, and it's a personal message out to you. Boxing Tipster, I think that's the one. And he or she, I'm not sure, is on Twitter, and I want to give a massive shout out to you for believing in me. Do you know what I mean? There are people who talk about believing in me, and there are other people who actually stand by that. And I want to say to you personally, I did it. I'm daring to be great. So that's a message out to you. I did it. Put my best foot forward. All we can do now is wait and see, regarding that situation. So I don't want to say a shout out to those people across Twitter, UFC, MMA, guy who does the tweeting on that. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I want to shout out to all those people across Twitter who are supportive, either with retweets, direct messages. We thank you. We're so supportive. We're so thankful of your support. I can't thank you enough. And of course, you, the regular viewers that tune in show after show, whether it be on a replay if you can't catch it, or live contributing, I want to thank you all, because without you, this really isn't worth its while, to be honest. So thank you so much. And I think it's important that you thank those people out there that are tuning regularly, the likes of Mikey and DJ Slick and all those others that do tune into the channel. We appreciate you. So there's the shout outs there. Of course, if I've forgotten anybody or I haven't mentioned anybody, it's not personal. It's those people. And again, those YouTube channels I haven't mentioned, or who have quoted our interview with Bermane Stiverne, a shout out to you guys for taking the time to actually stop and say, hey, this isn't my article, hey, this isn't my video, but I'm giving that man kudos. So thank you to those people that do that. And to those people that don't do that and ramble on and talk about news and say they're delivering news but not quoting the sources, shame on you. It's a trend today where people do a lot of copying and pasting. I call it lazy journalism, won't get on the phone, won't contact the direct sources, but will get news second and third hand. So, you know, it's not. I would rather do the work that's necessary, and you know, kudos to those people who do the work, and kudos to those people who actually check the facts and report on that. So that's just a few things I wanted to talk about there. Now, thank you, Mr. Slick. Now, loads of thoughts. I want to put these thoughts to the table now. So when we're talking about the heavyweight division, I think Bermane Stiverne personally has made a big power move here. People may not see it as that yet, but him deciding to take step aside money, which everyone wanted him to do, and were valid in saying, well, he hasn't fought for 2 years, and why is he the mandatory challenger? Although we knew, those who had the logic to put it together understood it was Povetkin that messed things up. It was Alexander Povetkin that messed things up in all this. Because if Povetkin not messed up with that PED situation, and that is genuine, had he not messed up with that situation, then we would have had a fight between Bermane Stiverne and Povetkin. So Stiverne would have fought Povetkin, win or lose, he would have had a fight there. And now I think the situation would have been cleared up a lot faster, because he would either, Deontay Wilder, he had to face Stiverne or Povetkin, because the pressure would have been put further on him. But a guy who hadn't fought for almost 2 years, you know, I think people are going to ask questions of that. And his last fight against Dick Rossi wasn't great. So a fight against Dominic Brazil, I don't know which one you'll pronounce it. A fight against Dominic Brazil is a great move. He's tall, he's rangy, he's long. He went quite a few rounds with Anthony Joshua. His offense isn't the greatest. Well, against Joshua, it wasn't the greatest. Against Izu, he put on he came off the deck to beat Izu, a guy who I had a lot of time for in the heavyweight division, who's gone sort missing since he got knocked out. And that was life and death. Brazil went through that. So taking into the consideration, Stiverne hasn't fought for a while. He's now going back in the ring with somebody who's tall, long, and rangy. Last time he was in the ring with somebody tall, long, and rangy, we all know what happened there. Whether it's dehydration that was the problem, whether he was poisoned, or whether he just had a bad night and Deontay Wilder is just a better guy, we will know soon enough when he fights Dominic Brazil what Stiverne actually has left, and if he's really good against Brazil and puts in a really good performance, it's probably more justifiable for him being in the number one contender spot. But if he looks poor or he gets beat, then it would justify people saying, well, why was he ranked number 1 in the world, all the rest of it. So I think it's great there for that. And it also puts the pressure on Deontay Wilder, who's been calling out everybody, including the cat, dog, and anybody else who wants to listen. He's been calling out. And so he's called out Ortiz now. He's been talking about Ortiz. Now, if Stiverne is correct, and if you look at Deontay Wilder's fight so far, he's been heavily protected. This is not a slate on Deontay Wilder. He's been heavily protected. He's faced no mandatories. He's fought only voluntary fights. So he fights Ortiz. It's a voluntary fight. Okay? Now, people will say, well, it's a great fight, Luis Ortiz. Those people say, it's a great fight. Okay. But here's my personal take on things. And I've said this a long time now. Luis Ortiz, in my reckoning, hasn't got in the ring yet with somebody that we know that could definitely beat him. Or be in the ring with a guy who we definitely know has the power to either overpower him or knock him out. Since he's been boxing as a pro, he hasn't had that. He's fought guys that he's always been a better boxer than or more skilled than. You know, when you put Ortiz with Bryant Jennings, no disrespect to Bryant Jennings, but Ortiz had a far more extensive amateur background than Bryant Jennings. When you talk about Luis Ortiz, this is a guy who was 6'4" and a powerful heavyweight, as opposed to Bryant Jennings, who's not a big puncher. I'm making excuses for Bryant Jennings, but his fight against Klitschko was made to look probably better And I did say he would do better against Klitschko than a lot of people expected of that. But again, you've got to look into the corner of Klitschko and what Klitschko has been instructed that night. Whereas Ortiz was going forward and landing heavy bombs, putting pressure on Bryant Jennings, who I understand didn't have that much time to prepare. But even so, it was a tough night's work for Bryant Jennings. So my thoughts on Luis Ortiz are this. Question number one, how old is Luis Ortiz? You hear stories, Luis Ortiz, you know, he's 40. I've heard rumors that he's closer to 44 or 45. That's an old guy. Promoters probably know what his true age is. Golden Boy probably know what his true age is. And his last guy promoting him has been who's given him 2 fights, which is Malik Scott and Dave Allen, has basically wasted almost a year with Luis Ortiz. This is the guy who's considered the #1 heavyweight in the world. Now, if you go back and listen to my interview with Tyson Fury, go back. That was when Tyson was going to see Huey fight against Dominic Quinn at Wembley. Is it Wembley? I can't remember what it was. Yeah, we were at Wembley at the time I did the interview. That was the interview that got 348,000 views. If you go back and listen to that interview and listen to what Fury says, Fury's very knowledgeable. And he says, listen, why do I want to fight Luis Ortiz? 1, he's not a big ticket seller. 2, he's Cuban and awkward. Why do I want to do that? And 3, in terms of Luis Ortiz, he wasn't even the best heavyweight as an amateur. Mike Perez was a better fighter and recognized higher than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was third in Cuba as a heavyweight and got knocked out. From what I remember saying, he got knocked out as an amateur. That's what I heard as well. And I don't know if the story was he got knocked out and he was a smaller heavyweight or something like that. But at the time, but there are question marks in my personal thought process of Luis Ortiz. He's not faced a puncher yet in his career. And nobody knows what the chin of Luis Ortiz is like. And in terms of stamina, Luis Ortiz, his stamina is questionable as well. What we do know about Luis Ortiz is that he hits hard with that left hand, and we do know he's very skilled, but he's not got the greatest footwork. And defensively, I'm not so sure about either, because we're yet to see Luis Ortiz in the ring with somebody who actually can hit genuinely hard, a genuine knockout puncher. And in Deontay Wilder, he'll face that. And in Anthony Joshua, he again faces a heavy-handed puncher or heavy-handed guy. Bermane Stiverne spoke of Luis Ortiz and talked about the negotiations and talked about him signing the contract to fight Luis Ortiz, and Luis Ortiz basically saying, no, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. So it's either one thing or the other about Luis Ortiz. These stories about Luis Ortiz being reluctant to get in the ring with a puncher are poo-poo, and people just putting bad press about Luis Ortiz, or it's the truth. One thing's for certain, he isn't 35 years old. So he's an older heavyweight, and he's getting older, and he hasn't been active recently. So what's the game plan here? Is he going to go down the path and fight Anthony Joshua? In my opinion, he makes more money fighting Joshua than he does against Deontay Wilder. Or does he go down the Deontay Wilder route? Either way, he fights Deontay Wilder or he fights Anthony Joshua. He fights one of the two who are both Olympians. Both Olympians. The Bronze Bomber being an Olympic bronze medalist, and Joshua being a gold medalist. Regardless of what you may think of what Joshua did as an amateur and the Olympic thing, he's an Olympic gold medalist on paper. Okay, so those are some things there. I will get, if anyone's in the chat, please, I will talk to you, but I want to get my thoughts out first, and then I'll get round to talking to you. So Luis Ortiz is a huge question mark. All these people, oh, Luis Ortiz, Luis Ortiz, Luis Ortiz. Well, okay, who has Luis Ortiz been of note that you can stand up and say, yeah, Luis Ortiz, great fighter? Well, he beat Bryant Jennings, probably the best name on his record. but Jennings already got beat by Klitschko. So he'd come off a defeat, not fighting for a while, and then for Ortiz. Okay, so Ortiz is his best. Lose Ortiz's last win was against who? Was it Dave Allen or was it against Malik Scott? Either way, they're not the sort of fights that, you know, set the world alight. And those are those the guys that you say, well, okay, that's what determines a guy being the number one in the world. He's got the skills. I'm not debating that. He has the skills. But whether he has the punch resistance, whether he has the heart in a tough fight, or whether he's just what they call a flat track bully, which means he's great going forward, and when it's all working out his way, is another question altogether. Nobody knows about that. You could be watching Luis Ortiz fight Wilder, and the first right hand Wilder lands on Ortiz, he could be backing up against the ropes or on the canvas. What does that prove? Does that prove that Deontay Wilder is a great fighter, or does that mean Ortiz is an old man? What are you going to say here? And was never that good a fighter. What are you going to say? So Ortiz has it all to prove. As for Anthony Joshua, say what you want about, oh, he's chinny, or he looks like a robot, blah, 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 blah. Listen, he has been in there with a genuine puncher, and got off the canvas to beat Vladimir Klitschko. So you could say, well, he was out for 2 years. If you listen to Sky Sports, he was a better Vladimir Klitschko than when Tyson Fury fought him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but Joshua got off the canvas after being hit cleanly by a legitimate heavyweight puncher who's got X amount of knockouts behind him and have knocked out world-class heavyweights or knocked down world-class heavyweights. So for Joshua to come through and win that fight against Vladimir Klitschko in a very good heavyweight fight, you could say that Joshua has been tested. In my opinion, he's passed the test. Say what you want about, well, his feet were in treacle and all that. He passed the test. So he got hit, he got chin checked, he got up, dusted himself down, he came back in the later rounds. So he answered the stamina question as well. Heart, stamina, punching power, opposition. Okay, Vladimir Klitschko's 40 years old. Fair enough. Okay, but he still did it. And there are a lot of heavyweights that would have got hit with that same right hand that may not have got out of the next round. So give Anthony Joshua credit. Give him credit. So the heavyweight division looks like it's well opening up. Will Wilder fight Ortiz? Will Wilder take the chance? Al Heyman has done a very good job so far with Wilder and sort of like maneuvering him. All of Wilder's opponents, although they were never, a lot of those fighters were not in the top 10. But as soon as the fights were announced that Wilder was fighting them, they suddenly found themselves in the top 10. But Wilder didn't fight anybody in the top 10 apart from Bermane Stiverne. So, and that was a voluntary defense by Stiverne. So, those are my thoughts there. I think Wilder and Joshua should fight in a unification bout. That's what I think should happen. Joshua hasn't got an opponent because Pulev's pulled out. Wilder hasn't got an opponent. Stick those two in and let those two fight. Okay, November the 11th now. It's probably too late to promote that, but there's a perfect opportunity to then get the heavyweight division back on track. You have one champion there, really, you can look at with Wilder and Joshua. Get that fight on, get that fight made. If that's not going to happen, then Joshua, Kubrat Pulev, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So if you can't fight Kubrat Pulev, why not fight Big Baby Miller? Why not fight Big Baby Miller? That's a fight he could have. He's an up-and-coming heavyweight. He's a talented heavyweight. You don't want him to get any better. Joshua could fight Big Baby Miller. Wilder could fight Ortiz. Stiverne fights Brazil. Hughie Fury's fighting Parker. I believe the last time I looked, it was who's the guy at WBA? Tall guy. I forgot his name again. Ustinov versus Fraser Quendo. That's what's going on in the WBA. I hope that gets sorted soon. So the division is looking interesting. It's looking interesting. On the subject of Stiverne versus Brazil, there are people that are picking Brazil to beat Stiverne. I actually don't see it that way. I think but it's got to be a fit, in shape, determined Stiverne. This out of shape Stiverne business can't be. He cannot. He's got to be, of all the training he's doing now, he's got to come in good shape, great shape, and look to put 12 rounds of hurt on Brazili. And Brazili's already said 3 years ago, he said he could knock Stiverne out when Stiverne was champion. So I think it's an interesting fight, to say the least. Okay, I've had my little chat there. Let's see what people are saying in the room. Lisa Queen, yep, good fight for Stiverne. Claire Sifuna says, I heard Bermane said Wilder won't be fighting Ortiz November the 4th. If not Ortiz, then who? Yeah, I did talk to Bermane about it, but myself and Bermane have spoke about this a while, about the Wilder situation. But I think Bermane has actually called Wilder's bluff. Their camp's probably said, you know what? All right. He says he wants to fight Luis Ortiz. He's gone behind our back to try and get the Luis Ortiz fight. Okay, fair enough. We'll step aside. You get yourself in shape and fight. You get yourself in shape and fight a guy who's tall, long, and rangy in Dominic Brazil. And let's see if Wilder does fight Ortiz. And if Wilder does beat Ortiz and knocks Ortiz out, then we don't have to deal with Ortiz. He's out of the picture. But if Ortiz does knock out Wilder, then we know that Ortiz really didn't fancy the fight with you in the first place. If that's what the truth is, and what Stiverne told me and told quite a few people on the channel, that he gave, the contract was signed and sent back to Luis Ortiz's management, but Luis Ortiz did not want the fight. The banking on that, maybe so. It could be a gamble. I don't know. I would like to see, I would like if Jennings would have fought off the back foot instead of staying in the pocket of Ortiz. It would have been a completely different fight. I agree with you. Yeah, I think Wilder just shot himself in the foot now. He got what he wanted. He should have just got his mandatory out of the way first and then weigh up options. I agree. Wilder had a great chance of fighting a guy who hadn't fought for 2 years and then getting rid of his mandatory challenger. If you think about it that way, that would have been a perfect scenario. Stiverne hadn't fought for 2 years. Or he fought Derek Ross. He didn't look great. So why not fight him? He hasn't fought in a while. Maybe he's not the fighter anymore. He's been knocked down. Maybe he's not the same fighter. So no, you don't do that. So now Stiverne's got the chance now to go ahead and now get a warm-up fight, look good in, and build his confidence for a return with Wilder. I don't think Wilder's played his cards very well there. I would have taken the Stiverne fight in the hope that he was rusty, ring rusty, and all the rest of it. So, not very smart, but there you go. Al Heyman will make that fight happen to keep belt in house. Yeah, I think so. That's the way to do it. White Miller, well, maybe so. Maybe Dillian White will fight Big Baby. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore when anything comes out of a certain promoter's mouth. I just don't believe it. I've heard the promoters say certain things and not be accurate or lies, you know. So just to say things. So I don't know. I don't know if Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder are going to fight, but something's got to happen. Deontay Wilder, I don't know. I'm not sure. Someone will have to do the research on it to find out which champion in the history of the sport has had as many defenses as Deontay Wilder has had without having to face their mandatory challenger. I'd like to know. I really would. The one thing we do know about Deontay Wilder, in that right hand, he is definitely a puncher. Mithy Swinbuckle says, if Wilder isn't fighting Stiverne, then he has to fight a bigger name. I agree. And the only available is Ortiz. Both Joshua and Parker have their own fights to deal with first. Well, I agree with you there, Mithy, but there's only one problem with that theory. Pulev has said he doesn't want to fight Joshua within that time. He's not got enough time to prepare. Although Sauerland is saying, no, the fight is on between Pulev and Joshua. So are we going to get a Pulev that really at 38 years old, who is, who doesn't really want to be fighting? I don't know. So I think either Joshua fights Ortiz or Ortiz fights Wilder. I would prefer to see Wilder fight Ortiz. I don't think Eddie Hearn wants Luis Ortiz anywhere near Anthony Joshua. I really don't. I don't. I really don't. It's just an absolute nightmare of a fight. I really don't. I think that they would want to swerve that. And if you look at how they've how the biggest promoter in the UK has handled Wilder in its not Wilder, Ortiz. His stock when he came off the win against Jennings, Ortiz's career was like that. It was like that. By the time Hearn had finished with him, Ortiz was like that, in the sense that he fought Malik Scott and Dave Allen. I mean, you can't say he looked great in either of those fights. So now from here to there, in terms of brand, in terms of a brand, in terms of, it's like, I don't know, but his brand, his stock and his brand has been severely damaged. And being in the UK would have been a great chance for Luis Ortiz to really expand his brand. So what happens? He comes to the UK, and where does he fight? In Monaco. Not in the UK, in Monaco. And then he comes and fights Dave Allen, a guy with a handful of amateur fights and a few pro fights. Really? So you're telling me there was nobody else in the world that Luis Ortiz could have fought? That is hardly, what was the vision? If I would have sat down and asked myself the question, okay, I'm Luis Ortiz. So what exactly is your vision for me? What do you want to do? Just be honest with me. You don't want me fighting Anthony Joshua, correct? Okay. So then what are you going to do for my career? Why did Luis Ortiz leave Golden Boy and come with Eddie Hearn? Why? He was in a great position. He was WBA man. Remember, he was the interim champion at the WBA. But yeah, he never fought for the WBA title. Guys like, what's his name? Shannon Briggs and Fezequendo and Brown. I mean, why did Luis Ortiz go and fight Brown? Lucas Brown. That would have been a good fight. Can see Dillian thrown in there with Wilder because Wilder don't want Ortiz. Yeah, but I don't. With all due respect, I would like to see Dillian White fight somebody who's tall, long, and rangy. A Gerald Washington would have been a good fight for Dillian White before he fought Deontay Wilder. The last tall, long, rangy guy he fought was Anthony Joshua. We know how that ended up. So I'd like to see somebody. I'd like to see him fight somebody tall, long, and rangy before he got in the ring to fight. Deontay Wilder. And I'm sorry, with all due respect, I don't know why you're supposedly one of the best promoters in the world. Why the hell have you got Dillian White fight Malcolm Tan? Why? But you know, I tell you what I can see happen with Dillian White. I can see Dillian White and Derek Chisora fighting again on the undercard of a Joshua Bill. I can just see it happening. I can see it happening now. You know, and that will be the fight that will save the Eddie Hearn card. I am absolutely certain this will happen. You know, Eddie Hearn's going to try and get Chisora back in there again. It's a big money fight. Miller White, no, I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening because why would you fight Big Baby Miller when you could fight Derek Chisora and make more money from it? Really? I think Joshua should fight Big Baby Miller. That's what I think. If he can't get the Pula fight, fight Big Baby Miller. Yeah, fight Big Baby Miller. So I think that'd be a good fight. But hey, Bryant Jennings has come back with a win. That's nice. Good to see Bryant back. With Top Rank now, so he'll be fighting quite regular. We'll be trying to talk to Bryant as well, see where he's at with things. Those people who just joined us, Stiverne will be back with us tomorrow night around 10 p.m., 2 p.m. Vegas time. So we look forward to speaking to him then. I think those are my thoughts on the whole thing. So Joshua is in a great spot at the moment. I think he's in terms of the best opponent, Joshua's faced the best in terms of the four of them. Just fought the best, which is in Klitschko. Deontay Wilder needs to fight Luis Ortiz or Anthony Joshua. Nobody else. Hey, David. Hope you're well. Good to see you, my friend. I'm good. I'm pretty good. Deontay Wilder has got to fight Luis Ortiz or Anthony Joshua. I don't want to hear no other names. I don't want to hear Tony Bellew. I don't want to hear Dillian Whyte. It's either Anthony Joshua or Luis Ortiz. Wilder won't for anyone in the top. Well, this is the suspicion a lot of people have got, Mark Richards. A lot of people have got this suspicion. So, you know, Stiverne has also made some statements about Wilder regressing, saying that if you look at the Gerald Washington fight, apart from that one right hand that Wilder threw, and I said to everybody before that fight, I said, Gerald Washington is fine for 4 rounds. But after 4 rounds, he runs out of gas, his back hits the ropes, and he's vulnerable to get knocked out. So that's where we're at. Do you think it is Wilder or his management ducking everyone at the top? Deontay Wilder's career has been well managed. Supposedly, Wilder got knocked down several times when he was inspiring. Yes, but we covered that story about 3 years ago. The story about Deontay Wilder getting knocked down by Klitschko inspiring was about 3 years ago. If you check our channel, check out, it was an interview I did with James Ali Bashir, who watched the sparring session. He actually talked about a sparring session, and Klitschko dropped him down several times. So those rumors are, according to James Ali Bashir, pretty true. So I was quite shocked when people were talking about this rumor about Wilder getting dropped in sparring. I thought, well, that story was, you know, a long time ago. Why are people still talking about it? It was mentioned a long time ago on our channel. So go check it out. That's also the time, around the time also that Joshua and Dillian Whyte got into it as well at training camp. I think Ortiz knocked Wilder out. Well, I'm not so sure, you know. I'm not so sure, because you have to say, the one thing, nobody wants Ortiz, but I'm not into this business. I'm not into all this. Oh, nobody wants Luis Ortiz. I don't buy into it. I really don't, because nobody wanted to fight Lennox Lewis. But what did Lennox Lewis do? Nobody, Holyfield and Tyson, they wanted to avoid Lennox Lewis. All right, they wanted to avoid Lennox Lewis as much as possible. Lewis did what he had to do to get to the heavyweight championship. Well, he got himself into a mandatory position. Okay, so when I hear people say, "Oh, well, he doesn't want to fight this person," don't want to listen. You fight, you get yourself into a mandatory position where people cannot avoid you. So then you're forced to fight. You understand? It has to happen. I don't see that Wilder wins it for me. You see, a lot of people are talking about Luis Ortiz, but you ask all these people that talk about Luis Ortiz, tell me what fight that you've seen in Luis Ortiz that makes you think, yeah, that fight right there gives me the confidence that he beats Deontay Wilder. I can tell you that one right hand from Deontay Wilder, you know, only one man he hasn't knocked out, and nobody knows how good Luis Ortiz's chin really is. And I don't think that Luis Ortiz doesn't look devastating. So I don't know what all this Luis Ortiz, I don't know what all this Luis Ortiz fanfare is. I really don't. I don't. The guy can hardly sell a ticket. I don't understand what the fuss about Luis Ortiz is. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't. I don't understand it. Yeah, he's got some skills. Yes, he's a good boxer. But I don't understand what the fuss is about. I don't see it, honestly. I really don't. And, you know, I just think for Luis Ortiz to beat Deontay Wilder, you remember, he's a southpaw. And the best way to deal with a southpaw is a straight right hand. And Mr. Wilder, for all his wild throwing punches, he has got a good right hand on him. He's got a good right hand. If Ortiz has got a good chin, if he's got a good chin and can take Wilder's power, then he beats Wilder. But if he hasn't got a good chin and he's slow on his feet, because you know he is slow on his feet, and he is super sloppy as well, I see Wilder can beat him. And who has he fought recently? Who has Ortiz been fighting recently? Is it the plan for Luis Ortiz to get himself out of shape? For Luis Ortiz not to be focused? For Luis Ortiz to be, you know, battling with trying to get his mandatory shot and not being active against lesser opposition? So when he fights someone like Wilder, who's a big puncher, I don't know, but I just think Ortiz's team are wasting a lot of time for a guy who's not getting any younger. Dave Thomas says Ortiz looked trash against Allen and Scott. To be fair, I think people don't want to fight him because he's not a money draw. Agreed. Now that makes sense. If you tell me Luis Ortiz, we don't want to fight him because he's not a money draw, then I would agree, because that's exactly what Tyson Fury told me. Tyson Fury said exactly the same thing to me. He's not a money draw. Why do I want to fight Luis Ortiz? He's not bringing any money to the table. He's awkward. You know, I don't want to fight him. What do I want to fight him for? You know, I'd rather fight Anthony Joshua because, you know, he's big, he's strong. I could possibly outbox him. And even if I'm going to get beat by him, I'm going to get paid a lot of money. Luis Ortiz brings no money to the table. Absolutely none. Nothing. And I'm not knocking Luis Ortiz. I'm just telling you as it is. Show me a fight that you think, yeah, that's the fight that Luis Ortiz. That's the fight that Luis Ortiz is. Gives me confidence that he can beat Deontay Wilder. Jump from fighting Dave Allen and Malik Scott, last two fights, to Deontay Wilder. The great equalizer, yes, Deontay Wilder. Mark Richards says AJ will fight them all, but Eddie Hearn is running the show there. Indeed. Wilder might be holding out for big payday to fight in AJ. He's doing a lot of holding out, but if AJ decides to shut him out by saying, you know what, I'm going to try and fight Pulev or fight somebody else, then he's in real trouble, Wilder. It could be a PR disaster. Because also, I would also say this. You know what I would do if I were Deontay Wilder? I'd go for an all-American. I mean, if I didn't get the Ortiz fight and I couldn't get the Joshua fight, the next fight I would go for is Bryant Jennings. All-American clash. Why not? Wilder may be holding out. Yeah, we said that. Allen got a great chin, hard to knock out. Yeah, he's got a good chin, but are you saying like Dave Allen is the gatekeeper to a world heavyweight title shot? This is what we're talking, levels again. You will see my channel. Yes, what's up, my friend? I'm good. If Ortiz was handed the Wilder fight straight after Jennings win, I believe he would have won. Yeah, that's it. I think it's a time thing. You know what? Who Luis Ortiz reminds me of? Remember Jose Lushigan? He was WBC number one contender for ages. And he was just a tricky, unbeaten. Like I say, he's British and Nigerian, I believe. He was just a tricky, unbelievably talented fighter, awkward as hell. And he was WBC number one contender for a long time. And promoters and managers, fighters didn't want to have anything to genuinely, didn't want nothing to do with him. Then he got older. And then they stuck him in with Lucas Matisse, yeah? And Lucas Matisse knocked him out. So, DJ Slick says, but now too much time has gone. Too much time has gone. How good is Luis Ortiz now? First of all, how old is Luis Ortiz? How good is he now? What sort of shape is Luis Ortiz in now? And where's his head at? Does he really want to fight Wilder or Joshua? Or is it people speaking on his behalf saying that he wants to fight these guys? You will see my chart says now Stiverne has accepted step aside money. Wilder must fight Ortiz or Parker. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. It's about it. That's it, really. Other people to mention around the heavyweight division: Lucas Brown. He's going to be back in action soon, I believe. Shannon Briggs is going to be coming back sometime in October, I heard. Don't know how true that is. The WBA needs to get this shit out sorted as well, because what's going on there? Shannon Briggs was meant to fight Fraser Quendo. What's happening now? What's his name? Keep forgetting the guy's name. Oh, I just talked about him earlier. Fraser Quendo and Ustinov. What's going on with Ustinov and Fraser Quendo? I don't know. So these are things that need to be ironed out and sorted. Hugh Fury versus Joseph Parker. Fury's been doing really well in training. Shannon the Cannon, let's go, champ. Oh dear me. Wilder was offered millions to fight White and bottled it. That's misinformation. That's not true, Mark Richards. Wilder was not. He was offered millions. If that's coming out the mouth of one Eduardo Hearn, then you can tell that's straight up garbage. Because how can he be offered that money when he had a mandatory to face? That fight was not going to happen. Dillian White wasn't. I think Dillian. I'm not sure if Dillian White. I think he's in a. Last time I checked, he was in a WBC top 4. But Stiverne's the mandatory challenger. So on paper, Wilder had to face Stiverne. So where this stuff about Dillian White comes in, I don't know. I don't know. What was the fight that Dillian White had that made him ranked in the top 4? I don't know. Stiverne was there because of the Povetkin situation. So I don't know. So was he offered millions, 2.4 million? Listen, when you talk about millions, you got to break it down. You're going to break it down to the promoter. So Wilder's promoter, his manager, his sparring partner, his medical bills. Break that all down. It ain't a lot of money that Wilder was getting paid. It ain't a lot of money. It isn't a lot of money. So, and he had a mandatory to face. So forget that. Legal implications are that there was no way Wilder could have fought Dillian White unless he went through Stiverne. That's it. So that is absolute garbage. So whoever tells you that crap, don't believe it. You can hear all the talk, blah, 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 it's rubbish. The truth is, he had legal obligation to face Stiverne. He doesn't have to face Stiverne now, for now. But remember, Stiverne beats Brazil. He remains mandatory #1 challenger for the heavyweight championship of the world. Remember that. So his position is still there. Wilder needs to step up. Bermane called his bluff. Time to piss or get off the pot. That's a typical American saying. My wife says it all the time. Either Ortiz or fight a top rank 5 contender. There we go. Even if he was offered a lot of money, I truly believe that Wilder would stop White anyway. Tax. Thank you very much, Shannon. Belly's still looking for a fight, so if Hay rematch isn't happening, he could take the Wilder fight if he changes his mind on him being too big for him. Or even Hay could take Wilder if Ward takes Bellew. Forget David Hay. He can't. Nobody can justify David Hay fighting Deontay Wilder or for getting beat by Tony Bellew. And forget Tony Bellew. One right hand from Deontay Wilder stops Tony. One right hand from Deontay Wilder. I'm telling you, I just don't see how Bellew can overcome the height and reach and the power of Wilder. No, sorry. Forget Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew should be down in the cruiserweight division. That's what he should be doing. We in the States, the hardcore American fans, are getting tired of Wilder blowing smoke. I agree. Charlie Cutting, my friend, where have you been? Have you thought you deserted me? Will Amir Mansour get a chance? Amir Mansour, there's a name. Oh my God. There's a fight I'd like to see Luis Ortiz take, because you've got Amir Mansour, who's a puncher, southpaw and a puncher. I like Mansour. I love Amir Mansour. Guy's got heart. He's got grit. He's got determination. I like Amir Mansour. I love that guy. I really, as a fighter, I love Amir Mansour. I'm not gonna say he's the best heavyweight in the world, but he's determined and he's got punching power, and he don't mind having a fight. I like Amir Mansour a lot of time for him. So I love to see Amir Mansour fight. Joe Kelly says AJ beats Pulev in my opinion. Well, he probably does. Good evening, Adam Ali. Are you the same Adam Ali that I know from for Buckinghamshire in High Wycombe? Are you the same Adam Ali, or are you somebody else? If you are, how you doing, my friend? Let's go, champ. The champ, Shannon Brigham, Shannon the Cannon. Look at him. Oh, Shannon. Hope Stiverne uses the money well to help Haiti. Yeah, I hope so too. I'll definitely, when he's back on the channel Monday night, we'll be asking him about what he's going to do with that situation. WBC gave permission to Hearns and Wilder to make deal with Stiverne, and that was from Deontay and Eddie Hearns' mouth in 3 different face interviews. Okay, right. That the WBC gave permission for Hearns and Wilder to make a deal. Okay, listen, we'll clarify that Monday night. That's as much as I'll say about that. But anything comes out Eddie Hearns' mouth, I'm sorry, we know. We just do not trust at all. Eddie Hearn has said in many interviews that how Stiverne was avoiding Joshua, and he knew the purse bids before the purse bids were even announced, and then looked like a complete idiot afterwards. So I don't trust anything that Eddie Hearn says. Trust me, I don't believe most things he says. So he'll say anything, and if you check my interview with Eddie Hearn, he says he basically is a BSer. So I don't listen much to what Eddie says. It was £4.5 million plus TV revenue. If it was so good, then why didn't he make the deal? Parker beats Hughie Fury easy. Okay. No, I'm for Birmingham. Shout out to Birmingham and the Birmingham Massive. It's not Hearns. Sort out your American grammar. Sorry, I've still been listening, but not in the chat as much, my man. Here now though. Good to see you in the room. Cleverly got smashed up. I did tell you. I did tell you that Badu Jack is a bad man. He's a bad man. Badu Jack, a bad man. Deontay flat ducked Wilder and White and did not put an offer to Stiverne for Stiverne to say no. Tank Davis looked a bum. Let's talk about Tank Davis. And I said before, I called it before. And I said Tank Davis is the new Adrian Broner. You know, you can have I was going to say something. Yeah, you can have all the talent in the world, but that's got nothing to do with your mental state and nothing to do with your character. I could have the greatest trainers in my corner and the greatest fighter in my corner, but if I, within my own self, don't appreciate it or don't have the character to absorb what they're saying and to appreciate my surroundings and appreciate and have that gratefulness to step up and dare to be great. If I don't have that and I've got doubts about my ability and I'm more ghetto and more about my priorities are in other areas, then no matter what you teach me and no matter what you say, you know, you're gonna be on the fast road to destruction. And I see that with Gervonta Davis. I really am. I'm only waiting to see a night where Gervonta Davis turns up on a night and gets beat by either a nobody or an underdog. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I just think he's one of those guys that will fail to capitalize on his potential. I mean, damn, you're a champion and you just turn up just out of shape. What kind of professional? It shows you the mentality of this kind of fighter. What kind of a mentality is that? That you just turn out, well, I couldn't make the weight, so that's it. I'll get another title. What kind is that the mentality of a professional? Is that the way you repay Floyd Mayweather? I just waste. I don't. That's why I don't even, because you know, when the Liam Walsh fight, that's why I gave Liam Walsh such a great shot. Not because I thought Liam Walsh was fantastic. I just saw that Tank Davis was vulnerable, and I still think he's vulnerable. Yes, he's a big puncher, or he's a puncher, but I just don't think he's that good. I think if Tank Davis didn't have Floyd Mayweather, take Floyd Mayweather aside for 1 second, he's a decent boxer, but nothing great. That's what it is. Take Floyd Mayweather away from him. Do you know? You remember when people talk about Adrian Broner? And remember what I said? Go back and listen to what I said. I remember I said to you about Tank Davis. I said to you way back. I said when Tank Davis had that win, and that was the win he had against the unbeaten guy, and he I think it was in the fight where he won the title that night. And he said, "There's a star in the making." I'm like, no, he's not a star. He's not. This guy is not a superstar. He's not a star yet. He has potential to be a star, but let's see this guy consistently over the next year, what he does. And in the last year, I've seen this guy. He's just been nothing but full of absolute shit. I'm sorry. In terms of, not in terms of what he's accomplished, more the start of sort of his mental state. Is he stable? Is he a guy that's going to be around in 5 to 10 years' time and not have like 10 defeats on his record? Is he a guy who's going to be consistent? Is he hardworking? Is he dedicated like his mentor? If he's hardworking and dedicated like his mentor, Floyd Mayweather, then yeah, he's going places. But we've seen already that there's been question marks about him missing weight. Sorry, I'm not interested in that kind of fight. It does nothing for me. I get completely turned off, and that's why I don't watch Adrian Broner no more, because it's the same crap. So he'll probably do a Riddick Bowe and eat himself out of the division, and then get beat by somebody else. Cleverly was tailor-made for Jack. Yep, no power. Yeah, Jack. I said Jack will just walk him down and beat him up, and I didn't even watch the fight. I fell asleep. Didn't watch the fight. Jack is a great boxer. I think he is. Chandler in the Cannon says, I said he was a new boxer. Was the new Broner too. Thomas Dillmore fight was the only good fight on the card. Cleverly was crap. Davis crap. Tabiti bored me to sleep. Okay, yeah. His opponent milked the punch to the back of the head. Okay, fair enough. Wanted a way out. Broner and Tank need a lot of support to keep it together. Well, I don't know. These guys like Broner and Tank, I call them very ungrateful, because they're in a great position to really get themselves out of a position that they're in, and to go on and secure their families and secure their legacies. Instead, they're playing the fools. Not so much Broner, because he's a 3-weight world champion. He's got his place in history. But I'm sorry, neither of them. It's just ungratefulness. I hate to see people with talent wasting talent, and just ungrateful. So I don't give him or Broner any real. It's just I don't like to see it. Yeah, Tank needs to move up in weight because he missed the weights. And notice Tank missing weight, moving up. Sounds like Adrian Broner to me. Just need to wait for Marcus McDonald to come along. Tank Davis will have the same problems as Broner as he eats himself out of the lightweights, and will find his power does not travel up with him. Cleverly is now retired, confirmed. He said it last night. He's finished. Well, me and a young fellow that I met from Wales the other day. I hope you're watching over there. And he said to me, and he's very good friends with the Selby brothers. He said to me that after this fight with Badou Jack, Cleverly would retire. So, yeah. Wilder has the power to stop AJ. Yeah, he's got the power to stop AJ, but AJ's got the power to stop Wilder too. So 6 of one, a half dozen the other with those two. Okay, so we talked about the heavyweight division. Talked about Cleverly. McGregor. Post-fight thoughts. Well, to wrap it all up, I've heard a lot of crap over social media, and let's just put the facts as they were. Floyd hadn't fought for 2 years. Floyd's 40 years old, and he fought a bigger, stronger, as McGregor told us, 170-pound plus fighter who was going to have the left hand that was going to knock him out. And his head was too small. His body was too small. He was going to knock him out. And this was a 40-year-old Mayweather. I've heard stats like, well, Pacquiao didn't land as many punches as McGregor did. Okay. If McGregor had fought Mayweather the night Pacquiao fought him, this fight had been earlier a lot sooner. Okay, understand that. The second thing is, this is a 40-year-old guy. Well, Mayweather lost the first 3 rounds. This is a guy who fought for 2 years. Ring rust, possibly. For those people who said that Mayweather was a runner, who was the first guy to go onto the back foot? I believe it was McGregor. Oh, you only fought a guy that had, he never fought before in a professional ring. Okay. Oh, he should have had a 50th fight. Okay. If McGregor had beaten Mayweather, oh, a novice beat Mayweather. He wasn't that good anyway. So when you have an argument like that, it's not an argument that can be won because it's based on foolishness. So what can I say? I think Mayweather could have finished that fight a lot sooner, but he gave the fans what they wanted, and he's now 50-0. Retire, please, Floyd. When people talk about, oh yeah, well, Floyd, and now he'd get beat by Errol Spence and he'd get beat by Keith Thurman. He'd look, stop it, please, stop it. I don't know how many times Floyd has proved to you that guys who can punch, he can deal with that. You know, he's proven. McGregor was 170 pounds, and McGregor was his big puncher, so didn't knock Floyd out. So a 40-year-old Floyd Mayweather is. So I'm really proud to see that Floyd has gone on and done the business. I look forward to moving on from Mac May and getting on with GGG Canelo. Well, yeah, I look forward to it too as well, because I think Canelo's going to knock Golovkin out. I really do. I don't think Golovkin's in his prime anymore. 1, 2. I think Golovkin has reached he's hit a ceiling now. He's hit a ceiling with punch power, I believe. And I don't believe Golovkin can fight off the back foot. I think that if Canelo keeps Golovkin on the back foot and keeps his back against, if he keeps Golovkin's back against the ropes, it's going to be an easy night's work for Canelo, right? Digging in them body shots in, bring him upstairs. Canelo's movement as well, very good counter puncher. He beats Golovkin. I think he's a better boxer than Golovkin. I think he's fought better opposition than Golovkin. I think he's faced a more varied style than Golovkin. And I think there's a lot of hype with Golovkin. And I really picked Canelo to beat Golovkin and even knock him out. I really do. It's all well and good knocking guys out you expect to knock out. It's all well and good beating up guys that expect to beat up. Now do it against a guy that people are saying is a real fight. I said to you about Danny Jacobs. Oh, Golovkin knock him out a couple rounds. I said, forget it, not happening. Because Jacobs is going to be moving. Jacobs is going to give him plenty of movement. Jacobs is going to push Golovkin onto the back foot. Golovkin is, and I will say, ineffective on the back foot. And here's another thing I will say. Guys like Golovkin, the Eastern European fighters, Golovkin, Lomachenko, what's the other guy? Kovalev. I've said it about these guys. I'll say it again. When you get these guys on their chest, when you get on these guys' chest and get on the inside, they have no inside game. And if Canelo can put Golovkin on the back foot, if he's strong enough to put Golovkin on the back foot, dig them body shots in, I don't think Golovkin can fight off the back foot, but he's got to fight Golovkin off the back. He's got to keep Golovkin on the back foot. Stay in the pocket, fight off the back foot. Don't allow Golovkin to get on the front foot and land them shots, because if he does that, then he allows Golovkin to get full leverage in his shots. But if he gets Golovkin off the back foot and keeps Golovkin on the back foot, then Canelo win the fight easy. I think. Golovkin's got a granite chin. He hasn't got a granite body though, and Canelo will be finding him body. I can see Canelo dropping him with body shots. I really can. So if there's a weakness in Golovkin, I think it's the body and the left hook. There's no way Mayweather was going to lose that fight. I predicted Mayweather winning the mid rounds 5-6, 5-6-7. So I was little out on that one. But no doubt Floyd was going to win. Huey Fury, what about him? GG will finish Canelo. How Canelo finished Khan? Just wait for it. Can't see it happening, my friend. Shannon was up with you and Povetkin. Hope you get the chance again. Frez got lucky. Be good fight, GG Canelo. Well, people are hoping. People are hoping it's going to be a good fight, right? They're hoping it's going to be a good fight. But, again, you don't want me to say this to you guys, but I'm going to say it. Gennady Golovkin's record coming into the fight. Who's his biggest win? Kell Brook? Danny Jacobs? Daniel Gill? Really? Okay. Okay. Resume suspect. So, you say that Canelo's chin is untested. Canelo's been in with the best, including Miguel Cotto. Say what you want about Miguel Cotto. He's in with Miguel Cotto as well. He's been in with the best, and he's been in with the very best. You can't say that about our friend Golovkin. Golovkin is a lot of hype behind Golovkin. We're going to find out if this guy can really fight. So I'd be Mexican style when it's going your favor. Let's see Mexican style when it's put on you by a real Mexican. Let's see. Let's see. You really think Canelo can KO GGG? He's never been put down amateur or pro and has been with bigger punches than Canelo. But has he been with better body punches than Canelo? And this is a 35-year-old Gennady Golovkin. They're saying a 30-year-old. This is an older man. Okay? This is a guy who's waning. I don't think he's at his best. I really don't. And I think he's struggling at middleweight as well. And he's going to be with a guy who's physically big, a guy who's a good body puncher, good combination puncher, throws wicked uppercuts. Golovkin is vulnerable to the uppercut. He's vulnerable to the left hook. And I really do see Canelo knocking him out. I really do. Body shots. Breaking him down with the body shots. Danny Jacobs is his best win, but even I had Jacobs beating him 140, 113. I had it close as well. Cotto would get stopped by GGG easy. Really? Okay. So wasn't he meant to stop Danny Jacobs? I don't see that. I don't where people get this GGG hype from. At the moment, it's hype. It's not based. GGG is based on hype, not substance. He's not based. It's a myth about GGG because who has he fought? Who has he beat? Okay, if he's such a great puncher, then why did he allow a welterweight to run him around and mess him about? And that welterweight he never knocked out. Let's get that straight. He never knocked out Kell Brook. Today's Cotto, maybe. Yeah, today's Cotto. But you're talking about Cotto now, old Cotto. Cotto gets cut fast in them. Who rocked Canelo's chin the hardest so far? Which fight did he take bombs on his chin? I think, you know, people talk about that. But you've also got to say Canelo's a pretty good defensive fighter as well. He does little moves, fakes. I like it. I like Canelo. Golovkin takes punches on his chin for fun because he has little defense. I've said it before, but wait and see. Remember, I'm talking about defense and attack. Defensively, Canelo's a better fighter. Versatile, Canelo's more versatile. He can fight going forward. He can fight going back. He can fight with his back against the ropes. He can fight coming forward. He can move from side to side. He's got better variety of punches. He works the body better. Canelo feints, is a better counter puncher than Gennady Golovkin. And Canelo has operated at a much higher level than Gennady Golovkin. Look at the resume. Look at the resume. The stuff that Gennady Golovkin's been allowed to get away with so far is because he's been fighting at lower level. The Danny Jacobs fight exposed him further. The Kell Brook fight was the beginning of showing you the blueprints of how to beat Gennady Golovkin. And now Canelo's going to capitalize on what he's seen from Danny Jacobs and Kell Brook, in my opinion, I think. Ward will wreck GGG's career if they ever fight. Yeah, JD, I've got to agree with you there because, again, the reason why Ward is so good is because he's worked on the art of inside fighting. That means getting on your chest, sitting on your chest, landing body shots, uppercuts, working your body, not giving you room to throw shots. That's why he was able to fight Froch the way he did. All these guys who like to fight pretty off the front foot and use the jab and look sweet, that's fine because they can control that sort of fight. What happens when a guy gets past your jab and gets inside and sits on you and literally pushes you back up against the ropes? Babatunde, good to see you, brother. I believe GG is beginning to show signs of aging in his last few fights. Canelo wins. I agree. This is the perfect time for Canelo to fight Gennady Golovkin. And for Golovkin fans, you are rather coming into fight with hope rather than any concrete evidence that your man can beat Canelo. You're coming in with hope that he really has got another level to get to, because I don't think the performances against Brook or Jacobs are good enough to beat Golovkin. And if you make the sort of mistakes they did against Canelo, against Brook and against Jacobs, Canelo could knock him out. I really do believe that. You can't be walking forward, leaving your chin in the air. I'm sorry. Will Tyson Fury come back? I hope not at the moment. He needs to get his shit together. Do you believe Eubank gives GGG problems with his work rate? I told you, I don't know how good Gennady Golovkin is because I don't buy into the hype. I don't know how good he actually is because he's fought such a... He hasn't fought Champions League yet. He's about to fight Champions League now. Who next for Bud Crawford? Actually, I would like to see Bud Crawford and Cotto fight. That's what I'd like to see. I think that'd be a nice fight for Crawford. I really do. Eubank versus Groves, great fight. I've said a lot about George Groves. Called him a TV fighter. He's talked about his stamina. Blah 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 blah. But he's an experienced fighter now. We've seen that. He punches hard with both hands. He can fight at a good rate. Still don't know about his... Still got question marks about his durability and his ability to absorb punishment. But his last performance to win the title was impressive. Keith Thurman, my boy Keith. I hope you're well, Keith, if you're watching. I think it's a great fight. Crawford versus Thurman. We know now that Thurman is not the puncher that everyone else says he is. I've said it before. Anybody who's listened to me over the years, I think there are issues with Thurman and his shoulder. And I hope this time out that he can get fully healed and be back in action. Thoughts on Cotter's win last night? That Kameda, I like him. He was tough as hell. But them left hooks, he was getting caught with right hands and left hooks. Oh, yeah. That was a good fight. Good win for Cotto. Good win. Most of the fight on the back foot. I was impressed with it. I like Cotter's footwork, slipping in and out to the sides when he's against the ropes. I loved it. Yeah, a lot of time for Cotto. Shout out to Cotto for winning the title again. Bud gets spoon-fed the winner of Pac versus Horn. You can see that happening. Is Wilder fighting Ortiz? I don't know. 10-minute breakdown. 10-minute breakdown on Campbell and Linares. As you know, you think Campbell does it. Yeah, I do. I think Campbell's got a great chance of beating Linares, simply because I think Linares is on the slide. I think Campbell does punch well. I think Campbell's Olympic experience will help as well. Amateur experience, tall, long, rangy, better boxer than Crawler, and I think with he's had some tough fights on his way up, and I think Luke Campbell's got what it takes to beat Linares. I'm talking crap here. I really do think the only problem I've got with Luke Campbell, is this. Okay, this is what I've got a problem with, because he has been down before a couple of times, but then Linares has been down as well. But it's this, and Linares cuts, and Luke Campbell's the type of guy, the way he boxes, could cause a cut early in Linares. He could cut Linares early. But that's just this. Sure, hope we get to see Lewis, Captain Cuba Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder. Who is the best heavyweight in the world, in my opinion? Well, people say he's the best heavyweight in the world. That resume doesn't tell me he's the best heavyweight in the world. That resume tells me he's potentially one of the best heavyweights in the world, but not the best heavyweight in the world. Will Manny Pacquiao get revenge of Jeff Horn? Oh, hell yeah. I think so. I think this time Pacquiao's going to come in and really beat the living daylights out of Jeff Horn. Can Mayweather lay claim to the UFC light heavyweight title? Oh, dear. Wilder's best heavyweight in the world. Haha, you dumbass. Yes. Mr. Skeptical. See, there's always one person in the room that week in, week out, there's always one person in the room that feels it's necessary for them to get abusive. Warning: if you decide while during this chat I've taken my time to spend some time to talk to you, if you decide to be abusive during my chat, you will be ejected out of the room. No questions asked. Thank you. Does Canelo go above Ward as number one if he beats GGG? Absolutely hell no. No. Who is GGG? Who's GGG? I just don't get it. I don't get it. He never fought in the Super 6 Canelo. He's a good fighter, Canelo, but he's definitely not pound for pound number one. Oh, he's in my pound for pound. Yeah, Canelo, definitely. But GGG's best win was against what, Kell Brook? You have to say Kell Brook, because the Danny Jacobs fight wasn't a great win. And you get, a career best welterweight. Yeah, that's GGG's claim to fame. He beat up a welterweight. Come on, man. Best heavyweights in the world are now Joshua and Wilder. Potentially, yeah, you could say that. I would say. When are you on next? Because I'm new to the site. Great, thanks, great show. Thank you very much, Mark. Yes, I'm like a recruitment agency, as and when. Tomorrow night, though, for sure. Tomorrow night for sure, we will have Bermane Stiverne back on the show live, so you'll be able to ask your questions, and we can get down and dirty about this Lewis Ortiz Wilder situation. We'll get some updates on that and any other further questions you ask. I think Joshua should grow some balls and fight Wilder. Really? He just fought Klitschko. I don't think you need any more balls after you fight Klitschko. Yeah, but I can't take such idiocy from someone to claim Wilder is the best heavyweight in the world. He's one of the best heavyweights in the world. Can Ward move up to heavyweight? I don't know. With that style, I ain't so sure. Who's the big name that you want Canelo to beat to take the number one spot then? Oh, I don't know. But he's got to fight Charlo. He's got to have a word with Charlo. Yeah? He's got to fight Charlo. That's what I say about that. And he's got to deal with Andrade as well. So they're the Charlo brothers and Andrade. He's got to see them. Because I wasn't convinced about his Lara fight. Lemieux, probably his best win, or Murray. Come on, man, Brian, Barry. Come on, are you serious? Mr. Skeptical says, "Oh Lord, Joshua has bigger balls than King Kong. He showed it against Vlad." I said that. Thanks, BWTM. No problems. I'd like to see Stiverne versus White. We saw what Dillian White did against Chisora, and I think Stiverne's a better fighter than Chisora. I think he's a bigger puncher than Chisora. So Joshua for me is the best out there at the moment, but there are a few others out there that can cause him some problems. Thank you for that. I would suggest that too. Guys, don't forget to follow Daniel Dubois. It's the next best thing in the heavyweight division. Well, so I've got a problem with this stuff. I've got a problem with that because he's going to fight AJ Carter next. AJ Carter's been on a show a few times. Shout out to AJ Carter if you're watching. I don't think, first and foremost, Daniel Dubois fighting AJ Carter proves anything. AJ Carter just got off a really bad knockout defeat to Sokolovsky, right? Truth be said, he got rocked by a jab and knocked out really badly. This is a guy, AJ Carter, who has had questions about his chin in the past, and those questions came back again. Now he's going to go and fight Daniel Dubois, who is a brutal puncher. I spoke to Dave Allen on a number of occasions. He sparred with Dubois. He says, listen, Anthony Joshua's big, but Dubois is physically stronger, and he's heavy-handed, really heavy-handed. He said every time that he got hit by Dubois, he was shaking. He didn't knock him out or anything, but he said the physical strength of the guy is incredible. Dubois, you would think logically, knocks out AJ Carter based on the chin and doing it quite quickly as well because of what Sokolowski did. But I don't really want to hear about his next best heavyweight. I don't want to hear that crap. We need to see him first get hit back, fight somebody who is decent enough to take the power. So until those things happen, let's just leave Daniel Dubois where he is, a prospect, and leave him as a prospect. Let's not bring him up. Oh, the next best heavy. No, leave him where he is. Leave him where he is. He's a prospect, and that's how. Let's enjoy the journey. Let's enjoy the journey. I don't see Frank Warren doing this crazy stuff with him. I think he'll bring him on gradually. Let's let Dubois. Personally, I think Dubois should have fought Sokolowski and not AJ Carter, because Sokolowski knocked out AJ Carter, and Sokolowski just fought the other day against Hughie Fury, and Hughie Fury beat him on a sparring session. So I think Dubois should have fought Sokolowski. If there are any question marks about Mr. Dubois' chin, then but then he supposedly put Anthony Joshua on his head, stood him on his head, and knocked him out in sparring. So who knows? Dubois may have a great chin. If he's got a great chin, then hey. Wilder will get exposed when he fights Ortiz. Yes, Dan, you're right. Stiverne will stop White, in my opinion. Another game, no disrespect to Dillian White, but you just got to look at his record. Who's he beat? And that really is who's he got beat by, then who's he beat, and who's his best win. And then from that point, then do the matchups, and then you can have your own decision. Canelo couldn't knock out Cotto, Mosley, or stone-footed Chavez, but Canelo wins it by decision, maybe split. If I think Gigi's jab might be the difference. I'm looking for him to stop Gigi by body shots. Stiverne can bang. White wouldn't find it easy. AJ Carter is going to get badly destroyed. I feel sorry for the lad. I do too. Dubois is only 4-0 and 19. Don't compare him to anyone just yet, guys. He's still 2 years younger to be able to fight for a British title. Thank you. Oscar Rivas is also forced to the heavyweight division. Yeah. Mr. Skeptical says Stiverne is so bad. Remember how much people hyped up his boxing skills before the Wilder fight, and he got played. He's just another Derek Chisora. Wow. You're the only one who thinks that. Well-respected trainers, James Ali Bashir, Tommy Brooks, Peter Fury, have all rated the skill set of Bermane Stiverne and said that he's coming too heavy. This is a Bermane Stiverne that was beating some of the best in the world at as an amateur. People have given Stiverne a lot of stick recently. I would really like for him to come back and do a number on Brazil and shut a lot of people up. It really would be good. Let's talk about Big Baby Miller. He's got potential. Yes, now that's a guy we could talk about. I like Big Baby Miller. I like him. I like him because he's got some personality. The guy's very articulate. I mean, he can fight a bit as well. Not sure about his punch. The way he throws his punches look kind of slaps at times. I don't like the way when he throws his punches. Sometimes he's not looking at what he's doing when he's throwing his shots. But I think he's got something there, Big Baby Miller. And I'd like to see Big Baby Miller work with an established heavyweight trainer. Like to see him lose a little bit more weight. And I think he seems to have a decent chin there. Although Gerald Washington, I thought stunned him a couple of occasions. I like Big Baby Miller. Got a lot of time for him. I like him. He's one of those guys that I'd like to talk to and bring on the channel. So yeah, Big Baby Miller, a lot of time for him. You've nearly gone a whole hour without ludicrously making a claim for Price winning the heavyweight title. I'm pressed. LOL. Well, now you brought it up, DJ Slick. If managed correctly, David Price could still be a figure in the heavyweight division with that right hand. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Yeah, he's been knocked out badly a few times, and he'll need some serious work on, i.e. needs to go to a coach that's going to work on his defense. And he definitely needs a sports psychologist and an NLP coach to work with his mental side. But that's what coaches are for. So I've got hope in David Price, but he needs to be managed correctly. If David Price was managed like a Deontay Wilder or an Anthony Joshua, we probably wouldn't be having these conversations today. So there's my conversation to you. Don't Brazil knocked to Izu. He's also very dangerous. There we go. So yeah. That also, I agree with Mr. Skeptic. Stiverne is so hyped, like a bulldozer with no boxing skills, with decent chin. He's just another Derek Chisora. Yep. American Derek Chisora. I know people say that, but you know, these are some of the same people that turn around and say Dave Allen was going to beat Luis Ortiz. So everyone's down to their opinion. I've got their opinion. Do you think Conor Benny's going places? If he's managed correctly, yeah. Big Baby Miller should fight more and do less talking. Yeah, but I like him. Big Baby Miller is just another Chisora. We know we're very dismissive of fighters. Very, very dismissive. Very dismissive of fighters. And you know, if fighters were to listen to some of the people in these chats, they wouldn't have that's why the sport of boxing is the way that it is. And that's why I love watching UFC, because people give people a chance. There are a lot of dismissive people in this world. And I give David Price still a chance. I give Stiverne still a chance. He's a puncher. He's got experience. He's an experienced fighter. I give anybody a chance, within reason. I get this dismissive stuff of, this guy's crap, that guy's crap. And then when a guy does well, oh yeah, he's all right now. Well, I'm putting on the table. I think Stiverne is one of the best heavyweights in the world. Not because he comes on the channel all the time. I think he's one of the best heavyweights in the world. And I think the Dominic Brazil fight is to find out what he's got left. If he goes out there and he steamrolls Brazil, or he really looks impressive against Brazil, what are people going to say? Well, Anthony Joshua beat him. But then he beat Izu, Izu was another guy that I rated very highly in the heavyweight division. But you see what happens when you're going against a guy who's actually going to hit you back. Instead of you hitting people, you get hit back. It's another matter altogether. So a lot of people dismiss Stiverne, but he went 12 rounds with Deontay Wilder. The only man to have gone 12 rounds with Deontay Wilder, may I add. And a guy that we don't know whether it really was the dehydration, a bad night for Stiverne, or he really was genuinely, Wilder is genuinely the better fighter. We won't know, but we're going to get more of an idea against the Brazil fight. So, I'm gonna trust in the guys like James Elliott Bashir and Tommy Brooks and Peter Fury, who seem to have a fair knowledge about heavyweight boxing. So I'll take a step at the moment and think that these guys believe that he's a good fighter. How do you see Hay? Oh dear me, Hay versus Price going, Ingram? I don't see it happening. Lawrence Okoli is going places, I think. Possibly. What did you make of Adam Smith's commentary last night. I don't think much of. It's a mouth-watering contest. Every fight is mouth-watering. I tell you, you know, Crawler versus Burns is going to say that's a mouth-watering contest. I'm not a big fan of Adam Smith's commentary. I never have been. Let's see now. Wilder did a lot better against Washington than Miller. That said, I think Wilder versus Miller would be a hell of a fight. That's a good fight as well. I'd take that as well if I was Deontay Wilder. Price has been knocked out too many times. It's over him. But you've seen guys. I've seen guys in divisions before get knocked out on numerous occasions, still come back and win world title. So listen, that right hand on it, give it. And I tell you, if I'm managing David Price on any given night, that one, but he's knocked down every guy he's fought. That, apart from Tepper, that right hand is a danger for any heavyweight in the world today. Any heavyweight. So I just think that's something. Okoli's going places, yeah. Back to Ronald McDonald's for a Happy Meal. If Price was managed like AJ, he would have been KO'd by White, then by Klitschko. Barry Ryan says, I agree, Ingram. Boxing fans are so fickle. If a fighter takes a loss, he's a bum in some people's eyes. Haha. But Stiverne needs a KO Brazil to make a statement. I totally agree with you on that. Okoli should make moves up to heavyweight. He's too big and he would make more money. Haha. I think it's the best line from Adam Smith. The main event has so many more people salivating. Oh, oh dear. I'll be careful what I say now because more eyes are watching, and you know, I think it's a bit of banter, really. Nothing too detrimental. Adam Smith's got more mouth-watering problems than a panicking, excited Jack Russell. Right. I don't think there's anything else I should talk about, people. I think I've kind of made myself quite clear about a few things. I've cleared up a few things. Like I said, we've got Bermane Stiverne tomorrow night live. Well, I am gonna think. I think I'm gonna push the boat out a bit and bring some more people on the channel. Your channel stays cracking in live chat. Thanks, BW, for supporting the sport. I love. Thank you so much. Just off topic slightly. It is the sports channel, and I've got to talk about it before I finish. My team, Arsenal Football Club, got smashed 4-0 by Liverpool today. I said it before, I'll say it again. You can buy all the players in the world, but if the manager is still there, he has to go. Now, the best transfer for Arsenal Football Club would have been an outgoing, and that would have been Arsene Wenger. He should have gone since last season. Wenger should have retired at the FA Cup, allowed a fresh new manager with fresh ideas to come in. And Mancini, what's his name? I said Mancini was the guy with Mancini. What's his name? Oh, what's his name? I said the guy I'd want to be. The guy who used to manage Chelsea. Chelsea. He managed Russia as well. Him as well. That would have been fantastic to have him as well as Arsenal manager. But Wenger has to go. He has to go. No more excuses. He's got to go. Buy as many players as you want, but it's the ideology and the philosophy, and the philosophy doesn't work. And this is a guy who is very much like Roy Jones Jr., had great nights, never won a Champions League, but he's way past his sell-by date. Wenger should be sacked in the morning. So much there. And one final thing, Gus Hiddink. That's the man, Gus Hiddink, for Arsenal manager. Gus Hiddink's the man. I would love to have Gus Hiddink being Arsenal manager. And also, Gus Hiddink from Arsenal manager, because you've got a guy who's experienced in the Premiership, has won things in the Premiership, and knows what it takes to win things. Wenger doesn't know what it takes to win a Premiership anymore. Done. Get out. So that's the end of Wenger. Shout out to the West Indies cricket team. A couple of days ago, I had a complete rant about them and how terrible they are. But they have played very well against England and batted very well against England. So shout out to them. Mithri Swinbuckle says, excellent chat, subscribed. Thank you so much. Tell your friends about it as well. I really appreciate when you subscribe to the channel. I think Peter Fury would be a good trainer for Price. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. The opportunity, the olive branch was there from Peter Fury. Price declined. Not going to happen. I heard others say he should move to US to prove skills. What do you think, Ingram? I've said it 1,000 times. Price needs to leave Liverpool. And the fact he's back in Liverpool, he's looking to get himself knocked out. Arsenal are appalling today. They have the same problems for years. Central midfield, staying forward and not asked to defending. There you go. Shocking attitudes from some of the Arsenal players, Ramsey and Orson in particular. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The main person to blame is Arsene Wenger. They're sick and tired of him. The players won't play for him no more. I know what he's like as a coach. You either you either have players that play for you, or they don't play for you. And if they don't play for you, it's time for you to leave. Fortunately, my life and all the trophies we've won have had players that have played for me. And the one moment where I felt, you know what, my coaching is no longer getting through to these players, that's when I said thank you very much and goodbye. Amir Khan thoughts. Amir Khan, I'm just waiting. I really am waiting to see Amir Khan, the reality TV show, because there's so much drama. He's got more drama in his life at the moment. He should have a reality TV show like the Kardashians. You call it the Kardashians, possibly. I mean, what have you had? You've had him over Skype. You had him and his father and his family and all the stuff there with his father probably taking money from him. You've had the situation with the Kell Brooks situation, him with Eddie Hearn. Amir Khan has become a reality part-time reality star. That's what I think. Reality TV star. That's what he's become. I don't know if this guy even is actually a boxer anymore. I think he's got any intentions to box. You know, he has to box, and I don't know. Khan's biggest problem has always been his defense, his lack of boxing IQ. I've said it before and said it again. If he was a little bit more intelligent, he wouldn't have got knocked out by Garcia, and he certainly wouldn't have got caught and knocked out by Canelo. Can't box the game plan, and that's it about Amir Khan. Love him, I feel for him, but the longer he stays out the game, the more and more it shows me he don't want it anymore. I heard Broner versus Khan is in the works. Really? You've got one guy who really doesn't give a damn anymore about. Well, you've got two guys who don't give a damn about the sport of boxing anymore, to be honest. But they've used their platform for boxing to air their views and to get some airtime. Retire. Can't you either retire or just get back in the ring? I don't know, but he's like a reality star at the moment, and it's not good. You hear more about what Khan does outside the ring than what he does inside the ring. And the sad thing is, he does a lot of charitable work, but that's overlapping with his his situation with his wife, and now he's got a new child, and it's just not good. How many rounds do you give McGregor? If you believe Price can win a heavyweight title, then you must believe Khan can win a title again at 147. Both have crap defenses. Yeah, they both. But you see, the one thing that you're all forgetting, and you've got to look at, if you go on BoxRec, there are guys on BoxRec that have got more than one loss on their record. There's some guys have had 10, 11, 12 losses. Example, Carson Jones is now fighting Margarito on September the 2nd. Okay, Carson Jones has got 8 to 10 losses. Okay, on his record. He's still a difficult proposition. Still a good fighter. It's not about the losses so much. It's about what you do after those losses. And there are guys through. Look at, if you look at Sugar Ray Robinson, example, the amount of losses Sugar Ray losses. I'm not saying those guys are Sugar Ray Robinson, but what I'm saying to you is, just because a guy has a loss or a defeat, it doesn't mean it's the end of the road. And in boxing today, after a loss or a second loss or a third loss, people are quite quick to shoot you down and say it's the end of your career. Whereas the UFC, they'll say, okay, they've lost, but they'll come again. And that's the difference. And I'm of the mentality of the UFC way of looking at things, that if a guy loses, he can still come back, because I believe in the fighting heart, the fighting spirit. I believe in fighters are overcoming the odds and becoming champion. That's why stories like when George Foreman came back and knocked out Michael Moorer, I backed Michael Foreman to knock out Moorer. You know, when Holyfield beat Tyson, oh, Holyfield, you know, he looked crap against this guy. He got knocked out by Rick Ball and blah, 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 blah. Tyson's going to beat him. And Holyfield beat Tyson. If Holyfield had listened to some of the guys that are on here, Holyfield would never have beaten Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? So I believe I'm one of those guys who are very, very nostalgic and very retro in my thinking when it comes to boxing. I don't care about the losses so much. They do matter, and you should look at how they lost. But as long as that fight is improving, I think it's very important. You know? So it's making the adjustments, making improvements, and there's one thing called experience. You can't beat experience. And a guy like Price and Khan are both experienced fighters. And they have amateur pedigree as well. So it's fundamental errors that they're making that they need to adjust. And if they adjust those fundamental errors, they could still become world champions. That's what I think. I have faith in trainers, but the fighter himself have to listen. I have to be willing to listen. Robinson Castellanos to Ingram was in a close fight with Corries the other week. He lost 15. Okay. Ronald Turpin beat Sugar Ray Robinson. He was out of our neck of the woods. True. There you go. So the upset, people, a lot of people in boxing, I call them newbies, not so much casuals, newbies, who look at highlights, look at knockout reels, but don't really study technique or the science of the sport or the history of the sport. And upset is in the dictionary for a reason. Upset is we didn't expect it to happen. And I'm a big believer of the upset. I'm a big believer of, the Super 8 in the super middleweight division, or even the Super 6. The final was going to be Carl Froch or Arthur Abraham or maybe Mikkel Kessler. Final. It ended up being Andre Ward versus Carl Froch. Unexpected by Benny. All right. So that wasn't the plan. That's not how things worked out. Vladimir Klitschko was meant to beat Tyson Fury in the night. By many, Vladimir was going to knock Tyson out in a few rounds. There was an upset. Tyson won. Buster Douglas, look at his record before he fought Mike Tyson. Look what happened. Roy Jones Jr. moving up from middleweight right up to heavyweight. Beats John Ruiz. Who would have thought that? If you look to the beginning of Roy Jones's career. Last night, Canelo, McGregor and Floyd. Floyd was McGregor was bigger, stronger, longer, younger, heavier. Still got his ass kicked. And many people believed that all he had to do was land that left hand. Not taking into consideration technique, not taking into consideration experience, not taking into consideration being there, seen it, done it, and basically disrespecting all the other fighters that Floyd had fought. So while you're disrespecting Floyd, you're also disrespecting the guys that fought Floyd. Your Pacquiao, your Canelo, your Cotto, your Robert Guerrero, all those guys, and all those guys that are beating those other guys connected to them, you're disrespecting. So MMA fans were delusional, but the one thing I'll say about MMA fans, they backed their guy. They backed their guy. We don't back our guy. We don't back our boxer. That's a fact. And I can assure you, there were boxing writers, people in the media, boxing media, who were backing McGregor to beat Floyd. But I can assure you, the UFC world and UFC media were glad. Would have been glad and really happy that McGregor would, if McGregor had beaten Floyd. And those who wanted McGregor to get beat, well, they want to get McGregor beat because they just didn't like his flash ways. That's just people in general. Did you have a bet on Maymack last night? No. The odds were 1 to 4 Floyd win. Easy money for me. How? Disrespecting the sport. He's a complete novice. Well, he wasn't a complete novice, and I can't have that. He wasn't a complete novice. He was a guy who knew his way around the ring a bit. A complete novice would have gone 10 rounds. Free money, elite pound for pound against a novice. Well, yeah, okay. But you say that now. Still was a good fight. I found it was a better fight than Pacquiao versus Floyd, to be honest. Just saying. I found it more interesting than Guerrero versus Floyd, to be honest. To be honest, I really did. But there you go. Would have been bad for boxing if Floyd had lost. It wasn't going to happen. So forget it. Where everyone in box, everyone who was quite knowledgeable and clued up knew what was going to happen. And for all those people, and you see they'll get away with it. All these people you see across boxing media who said, all Conor has to do is land that left hand. Those people that were saying Conor McGregor could beat Floyd should really and truly, you know, they should really have a serious word for themselves. They really should have a real serious word with themselves. But don't worry, because if I had said that Conor was going to smash Floyd and knock him out in a few rounds, if I'd said that, I'd have got absolutely destroyed on here. Floyd made it an easy fight, made it a good fight. He could have dispatched him easy if he wanted to. Yeah, Floyd didn't have to stand in front of McGregor. He could have just done what he normally does, which is move and move and move. Didn't. Stood in front of McGregor. That's another thing what people don't give credit for. Floyd being adaptable. He can box on the front foot. He can box on his back foot. He can box side. He can go side to side. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. He can fight inside the pocket. Against a guy who's physically bigger and stronger than himself. That takes some doing. Can Windies chase out 250 in the fourth innings? Can they? Well, my answer to that would be things we need to consider. Experienced batsmen, can they hold their nerve when the pressure's on and the heat is on? That's the question they need to answer there. The batsmen, because they're chasing to win a match. They've got a chance to level a series here. Are their batsmen good enough when they have a chance to win to snatch victory? 2, the wicket. Is it a flat track now? Is there cracks in the pitch? Is there opportunities for the spinners to get involved? Is it overcast? Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad moving that ball around. The West Indies do struggle with swing, and I don't believe the technique is still that, you know, questionable about their technique, playing away from the body and stuff, although they did really well. So those are, it's a spinning track. So 250 plus on a track that's got lots of spin in it, that's 250 plus. That's England could still win this game. 250 plus, England could still win it. If it's a spinning track, but I don't, if they've got a quality spinner playing on the side, the spin is going to be important. And you know, England will have to come out attacking with their fast bowlers, and into the spin, try and tie West Indies down from both ends if they can. Tie them down and stop them from scoring runs. If they can stop them from scoring runs and stop all the cavalier batting and force the West Indies into playing strokes and trying to force the game, that's where I think England will pick up wickets. But if they get off the flyer, then it will be difficult for England. On a spinning track, fourth day or fourth innings, I don't know. I think England have got a better bowling attack. I don't know. But it'd be a good win if West Indies do it though. I think that's about it. Oh, finally, before I finish off the channel, for those of you who are gamers, I know that you may not know that we've started the BWTM gaming channel. I have added the playlist of our football channel. Well, our football shows, we do. I do management. I manage on Football Manager 2017. So please subscribe to the channel, have a look at the videos, subscribe to the channel, and join us, myself and DJ Slick, and sometimes Marky, Bia, and who else? A few others that come in the room. Salim, they come in the room, have a chat, bit of banter, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. So it's a really good, real good evenings we get having a good chat. So check it out. The playlist is on there now, Football Manager 2017. I'm going to go and play some Football Manager now and chill out for the evening and manage Leicester City. Right, I'm done now. I've gone way over my time. And shout out as well, before I finish, to Yolanda Cortez and Intelligent Boxing for supporting the work that we're doing. We're out. Thank you so much for watching the channel and supporting BWTM Sports. Again, tomorrow night, Bermane Stiverne will be with us live, so you can ask your questions then. Take care.